All right, this is the Art of Commerce Field Nerds. I am live from the field on day 3 of Adobe Summit, and I have with me Matt Wright. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I feel like I need a better hat though. That's like the first things I was like, oh man, like did not come prepared for this.
We will get you hooked up. Dude, you work for conversion. Tell our audiences real quick, what do you do? What does conversion do?
What do we do? So conversion is about gain conversion, I should say now. We're the leading company in the world that helps brands like essentially run experimentation at scale, much more on the professional services side, although we do have a bunch of technology that helps power that. Do it for big brands out there, such as like, say, Microsoft, Nike, who else can I name? HP off the top of my head. Brands like Wall Street Journal, actually, recently, that comes to the top of my head on recent conversations. So just doing this at scale, and in particular, like, how do we actually structure that in a way that drives impact and can kind of all roll up into like the strategy of the company, but at the end of the day actually drives like performance outcomes of what we're trying to do.
Unless it makes a bottom line impact, all of these are just shiny tools.
Yeah, and I think there's like different levels of it too, right? There's the directly measurable things, but a lot of this, it's like what's the compounding knowledge or the things, the decisions we're enabling. I think we have this like, our VP of operations has this great quote that like businesses are really the sum of their decisions.
That's beautiful.
And I think really we're on this like mission, and it's actually just like a really cool space to be of like, how do we enable like evidence-based decisions and do that in a way that like empowers people to kind of at the end of the day, like be brave enough to be bold enough to make a strong decision, but then beyond that, like really can show the backing and get buy-in and all that kind of stuff today. I think it's a lot about like helping people thrive in that manner. Yeah.
Love that. I'm not a steal guy. Like companies are a sum of all your decisions.
Yeah,
right.
We stole it for sure from somewhere.
Right. So I was just speaking at one of the keynotes over here, and I was talking about agentic traffic coming to websites and acting on behalf of humans. Matt, what are your thoughts on that? Does that scare you? How are you guys solving for it?
I don't know if like scare is the right word. I think it's like just everything's in transition and like evolution, right? So I think it's like the way we used to think or the way we used to like kind of attack this maybe won't work, and like it won't, if you just keep doing the same thing, I'm not sure that will deceive. Some of the fundamentals will still like apply. I think what kind of stopped me when you were doing it, honestly, was the idea of the brand framework or the brand technology changing and the way that you have to position brand to an agentic like visitor versus like a human visitor. That was definitely actually probably one of the things I was like, oh, that's a really interesting thing. I would definitely take that back and like be considering it. I really like the framing of that. So I feel like that's really interesting. I'm constantly in this place too of like, we talk a lot about, obviously we're trying to optimize sites right now for like, we talk about like visibility of like agents or whatnot. What's the balancing act in there between like, hey, we still have behaviors of actual humans and maybe even agents we want to do on the websites. How are we designing in a way or trying to get data to feed the design decisions, I should say, that like kind of not just focuses on the AI visibility, but actually the actions we want and still like the function. And even you're talking about like the personalization and whatnot, like how are we going to do that? And like
you cannot personalize to an agent until you can recognize that it is an agent. And then the agent's job is to actually be an influencer for the human. So it's a very interesting space that we are seeing emerge right now.
Well, and I think I could be totally super naive with this, so don't like just take this like grain of salt. I think the thing also when I see that, right, there's like agents that I'm literally like, hey, we have like an API call. It's like it's doing like a key task. Then there's the agent where I just like tee it up in Cowork or something in Claude, and I'm like getting it to do something for me. It's literally doing it with my computer. Like, how is it going to be like discernible? Like that's not like, I'm sure it will be. Like have a pattern of behavior that would be different than mine, like how it would go through something, but how will we know?
There should be something. There should be some signals. I just don't know what they are yet, and that's what scares me a bit.
I don't think we'll know at Matt. Like the best advice I've had is just have like almost like you need to structure your website in a way that at least the data or the metadata or some of the stuff that you're putting in there can be essentially digested well from like an agentic perspective of something going through it. I think also they're just getting like smarter and smarter. So like I could have one where it's like, hey, we have to totally think about new journeys, or is it they'll literally just get smart enough that they can discern like what they need to with very limited. I do think your point, so you had that really good example of like a fluffy marketing or like that statement that a human being will be like, oh, it makes me feel good, has some emotion, versus very explicit statements.
Just facts.
Yeah, but actually the way, that was a really good, you should almost like show that example, I think, of this, because I was like, I would still look at that and be like, that's actually valuable for me, and really seeing results of A/B tests and things like that. We actually know sometimes that being very comprehensive and clear over like marketing especially at certain stages of the journey, like that is like the big breakthrough.
Right.
That, like small
No
things.
BS, just talk to me, give me a script.
Yeah, like I would be like almost really brave to be like, if we just ran that A/B test right now and just compared it on your thing, like maybe it's not going to do it. You have to have it like a place that has elasticity. I wonder if even just humans would convert better on that like statement. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
something that jumps out. Yeah.
Damn. So brings us to a lot of messaging tasks, a lot of marketing claim tasks.
I think that's going to be the thing too. Is like you'll unlock the ability to run more tests. I think it's really going to be being a little bit more thoughtful and strategic about like what are we testing and being very intentional with it. And there's probably a level of like exploration that goes out there in terms of like you're saying, hey, like let's just explore stuff. Let's acknowledge we're not like we don't know what we don't know. But then there's other things where it's like, hey, we really got to double down because that's really important to the brand. Or like I talked to you about this like in like kind of the Sling case or whatnot, where you have like different markets have different rules or whatnot, and we have to like work inside like the business requirements of like what's going on in the business. Correct. And so we kind of need to be open-minded while at the same time being a little bit disciplined in like what we're trying to attack. I think.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, speaking of A/B tests too, these guys showed me an AI-powered experimentation tool that blew my mind, that blew my team's mind. Do you want to drop a quick line to the viewers?
Actually, just went in open beta this week, so I'll find you can probably reach out to me on LinkedIn to actually get in the beta. I think as part of Gain, the product is called Loopin. It's essentially an ideation module that will essentially take do an analysis from a very like perspective of like your classic like conversion rate optimization, or identify like say in a page template what are the opportunities, and then beyond that it will break it down in a way that like feed you a bunch of ideas or whatnot. But I probably have to give that almost like a real demo. I'm kind of butchering it for that.
You gotta look him up, get that demo, it will open your mind. Like this is where things are moving right now.
The demo is cool. It's hard to sell it verbally, I think, is the thing I've realized.
Right, so reach out to Mac, look up Gain Conversion, and thank you for listening to this conversation. Mac, any final words?
Nah, appreciate it. I love that I got the chance to be on this. I feel very honored. So
Thank you. And who knows, you might see me on their podcast too.
No, we'll do a much deeper one. We'll do like a 30-minute session. I'll pick his brain on a whole bunch of stuff. So.
Let's do it. All right, good seeing you, Mac.
Cheers, man.